Hi, welcome back to the workshop, and today we are looking at a sound demonstration for the Hornby 2MT260. Now Mike, this of course is a wonderful model from Hornby, and the sound profile, which was also recorded at the Keighley Valley from their 2MT, it is incredible, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's been produced by Locoman Sounds. I think they've done a fantastic job of capturing all the nuances and sounds that the BR2MT has. It's got a brilliant soundtrack to it, sounds just like the real thing, and got all the ancillary features as well.
Locoman Sounds are obviously known for their feature-rich sound profile, so what's actually packed into this one?
Right, so we've got an ESU 8th decoder in here, and I've modified that to fit into the small tender space of the 2MT. There's a 20 by 20 speaker in there as well, so that gives you plenty of power to play all those sounds through. And then in terms of the actual sound profile, obviously it's got those main running sounds of the exhaust and the coasting sounds. You've got the options to switch into a heavy exhaust mode as well, using function 24, but you can also force the coasting sounds as well, using function 9. Then you've got working brakes in it, you've got different whistles, you've got ancillary functions. And one of my favourite things about the Locoman sound profiles is the whistle with echo function. I think it's on function 6 on this.
That actually probably was my most favourite of all. When I heard that for the first time, I thought, oh, that really does sound like a nice distant whistle, doesn't it? Yeah. And I haven't heard that in many profiles.
No, it's been quite a feature of Locoman sound profile. It's one of the things I really like to use it in kind of, if I'm stood at this end of the layout, I like to use number 6 whistle when it's over that end of the layout and simulate the kind of feeling that the loco is quite a long way away. And it's got this distant whistle with all the echo, and then it comes through the bridge, and you can kind of zone out from all the rest of the real world that gets in the way of it. But it's a really nice atmospheric thing to do. At least in my head, anyway.
We're all big kids, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'll tell you, how about we don't talk so much and let the profile speak for itself. We'll watch the locomotive run around the track for a while. You are right, actually. I mean, that does sound amazing. And to stand here listening to it chuffing around the back out of sight, it's almost like you're standing in the middle of Yorkshire listening to the real thing.
Absolutely, and that's what all DCC sound is about for me. It's getting as close to the real thing as possible in miniature. I think it then comes down to that combination of having the right sound file with all the right functionality in it, and also thinking about how you're driving it as well. So that's where you get that. For me, is where I get the real pleasure out of a sound profile. It's one thing just to have something going around making a chuffing noise, but that's only a tenth of the story. You know, whatever the part is, but you know, it's only part of the total picture. You know, when you start using those ancillary functions, you start thinking about, well, coal shoveling, injector operation, using the distant whistle, using the close whistle, using the short whistle when you depart the station. You're just thinking about all those things and being a driver and how you'd respond in those scenarios as well.
It's a different aspect to playing trains, isn't it? Because you're thinking about how a railway would actually naturally operate rather than stop-start all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And it becomes as close as you can get in model form to being a real driver.
I'm sure we all love to experience that. Well, listen, as far as the sound goes and so forth, where can people read more and what was really involved?
Right, so in terms of the installation, there's a full installation guide in issue 201 of Hornby magazine. That's also available to read on keymodelworld.com as part of our digital sound package. And in terms of what was involved, well, there's Locoman Sounds sound profile, which is preloaded onto an 8-pin ESU decoder, which we've used in this loco, and then a speaker in there as well to play the sounds through. It's not the simplest of sound installations because of the limited amount of space. I did go quite a complicated way, I suppose, in terms of, you know, it's not a beginner project this, because there's a lot of hardwiring involved to actually make all the connections inside to minimise the amount of space required for the decoder. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility. But if you are going to do it, do be very careful about it. Double check everything before you turn the power on.
And listen, if you've actually never done a DCC sound installation, you can always watch our new series all about DCC sound. Parts 1 to 4 are available on keymodelworld.com, and you will learn everything about installing the sound profiles, the decoders, the speakers, everything that Mike has done into this 2MT to make it sound as good as it has.
That's right, that's Series 8. That's our very latest video series, and that covers, like you say, we've done Hornby TXS decoders, done the Zimmo decoder family, and the ESU decoder family as well. Lots of installation guides, and like I said, with the 2MT, got the full feature dedicated to this specific loco online as well.
There we are. Well, look, go off and check all out at keymodelworld.com. Have a look at the brand new series on DCC sound, and we will see you next time.